KASA TV, your home team. With New Mexico's only primetime newscast, 1 hour earlier. This is your news at 9.
Home sweet home. After being held captive for a month in Sudan, a New Mexico journalist is back safe and sound tonight. Gone but not forgotten, the country pays tribute to the victims of 9/11. No guns or even badges. These sisters say they have a bigger weapon to fight crime: God. Fox 2 News starts now, 1 hour earlier. A New Mexico journalist is back home tonight after being held captive in Sudan for more than a month. Governor Richardson helped get Paul Salopek out of prison, and the two returned home today. Elena Darvo has more on their return.
After a long trip back from Africa, Paul Salopek looked relieved to step on New Mexico ground. He reunited with some friends and colleagues and then expressed his gratitude.
A little over 20 hours ago, an U.S. Embassy jet left Al Fasher, Sudan, and sitting in the back of the plane was the governor's security man, Alfred Lovato. And I thought, I've never been so happy to have a New Mexico State policeman tailing me.
His wife was nothing but smiles after a dark month of worries and fear.
This has been a truly remarkable experience and a remarkable mission and trip, and I've thanked the governor and his incredible staff many, many times. That won't stop. They've also become dear friends in a very short period of time.
Sudanese authorities arrested Salopek and his two colleagues from Chad. They were accused of spying and reporting false news. Salopek was there working on a story for National Geographic. Governor Richardson flew to Sudan and convinced President Omar al-Bashir to release the three prisoners. The governor called the rescue a triumph in journalism and a free press.
I'm very concerned about the increased harassment and intimidation of journalists around the world and its impact on the freedom of the press.
The governor said the principal message of this mission is through diplomacy, negotiation, and dialogue, problems can be resolved. Reporting at Qatar Aviation, Elena Darvo, Fox 2 News at 9.
A man is shot and killed in a downtown parking garage in the city's latest murder. The shooting happened around 2 this morning at 2nd and Gold. Police say the victim is an unidentified 33-year-old black man. 25-year-old John William has been charged with the murder. No word on a motive. That parking garage has a violent past. In late July, police were responding to a report of shots fired when they say a man tried to run them down. They were not heard and the suspect was arrested. This afternoon, Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies are trying to figure out how a man ended up dead in a South Valley ditch. They're also trying to figure out who the man was. A passerby found the body yesterday morning near Valley High Street and Bar Southwest. Severe weather moved through parts of New Mexico today. Can we expect to see more of this weather? Shar Spalding is in with the answer. Shar.
Colleen, the severe thunderstorm warnings have just been canceled, but as you can see on our radar, we do have some slow-moving storms, strong storms right now in Union, Harding, and Quay County. Not only are they putting down a lot of rainfall, but also pea-sized hail possible. Wind speeds right now not bad, but we could see some moderate East Canyon winds. We do have a front moving across New Mexico. That will bring in some more thunderstorms tomorrow. You can see on our precipitation forecast, they do start to move across New Mexico. I'll be back to tell you exactly when they're going to hit here on Fox 2 News at 9.
Thanks, Shar. A weekend of remembrances. 5 years after the nation's worst terrorist attack, President Bush is back where it all started. He and the First Lady laid 2 wreaths at Ground Zero today before attending a prayer service near the site where nearly 3,000 people lost their lives. Fox's Doug Luzader has more.
They are making some final preparations down at Ground Zero for tomorrow's events. Some of the observances, though, took place today, one of them with President Bush down at Ground Zero. Marking 5 years at Ground Zero, the President and the First Lady placed a wreath on a small pool where one of the Twin Towers once stood. The Ground Zero is still a vast and largely empty expanse. There is some construction here, but the site was quiet this day as the anniversary approaches. The president later visited a nearby firehouse with a mural dedicated to the fallen.
Laura and I approach tomorrow with a heavy heart. It's hard not to think about the people who lost their lives on September the 11th, 2001.
The president will start his day tomorrow in New York, but he'll also visit the Flight 93 crash site in Pennsylvania and later in the day, the Pentagon. Back in New York, Ground Zero makes for a difficult picture, especially at the 5-year mark.
I can't believe it's been 5 years, and every time I look at the place, it's very aggravating still to see it like this.
The security around the site has been stepped up for the events, and while this enormous space is a constant reminder of what happened 5 years ago, there are many New Yorkers who moved here since the attacks, who never saw the towers here.
It's hard for me because I run by here every day, and to me, since I've moved here, this is just the scenery.
But that scenery is still vivid and still painful for New York and the nation. After President Bush visits all 3 sites tomorrow, he will head back to Washington, where he will address the nation tomorrow night. In New York, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
5 years after the tragic 9/11 attacks, the Pentagon has opened its memorial to the public. A wall now stands at the Pentagon Memorial where American Airlines Flight 77 struck. The wall includes a stone scorched by the crash. It's inscribed with the date of the attack. Visitors can also go inside the building to view America's Hero Memorial. Inside, a special room is dedicated to the victims, whose names are inscribed on black panels. Some visitors say it's very emotional to visit a place of great tragedy.
Be next to the names of the people who were involved in that lost family here.
I wanted to see, the Pentagon and what the memorial's about and try to get a full understanding of why we're in Iraq right now.
President Bush will wrap up his remembrance of 9/11 tomorrow at the Pentagon. The city of Albuquerque will host its own 9/11 memorial service. It will take place tomorrow at Civic Plaza from 11:30 to 1 p.m. The mayor and other community leaders will give speeches. Also planned an honor guard and 21-gun salute. Blue Star mothers will be on hand accepting donations for soldiers overseas. 5 years after the war on terror began, Democrats and Republicans still don't agree on the best way to win. Least of all, Howard Dean and Dick Cheney. Fox's Megan Kendall has more.
5 years after 9/11, the administration says we are safer but still not safe, saying we've captured or killed many top al-Qaeda operatives in the half-decade since 9/11. But top Democrats say the relevant point is that al-Qaeda's top man remains at large.
I think we're in trouble. We have not pursued the war on terror with the vigor that we should have because we've gotten bogged down in the civil war in Iraq. What we ought to be doing is going after Osama bin Laden full scale. We ought to capture him. We ought to kill him or kill him.
Bin Laden has been a top priority for us from the very beginning. He continues to be a top priority today. That hasn't changed.
The administration also points to the liberation of millions in Afghanistan and Iraq, but fighting in both places continues in earnest. Last week, the top NATO commander in Afghanistan asked for more troops. Secretary of State Rice admits the Taliban is regrouping, but says that resurgence will not last.
You are talking about a Taliban that is able, particularly in the south, to wreak a lot of havoc and to bring death and destruction to civilians, but they are being beaten back.
Democratic National Committee Chairman Howard Dean also took aim at Pakistan, criticizing the recent deal its government struck with militants along the Afghani border, which some say gives terrorists a free pass in the region. Vice President Cheney this morning defending Pakistan, saying its president Pervez Musharraf remains a strong ally to the U.S. and saying more al-Qaeda operatives have been captured in Pakistan than in any other country. That's how the politicians feel. So what about the American people? Well, a recent CBS News New York Times poll showed that 39% of Americans feel less safe than they did 5 years ago, but more than half say they do feel safe. In Washington, Megan Kendall, Fox News.
A series of attacks in Baghdad today left at least 8 civilians dead and injured 29. A roadside bomb exploded near a cell phone shop this afternoon, killing 5 people and wounding 17. The blast ripped apart this sidewalk and sent debris flying everywhere. About 30 minutes later, another roadside bomb exploded in a busy commercial area of Baghdad. Then minutes later, a car bomb went off in the same area. Both blasts killed 3 people and wounded 12 others. Coming up, domestic violence turns deadly outside a peaceful church. And this was no stunt. 2 planes collide in the middle of an air show.
celebrating 25 years. KASA, Fox 2.
Fox Monday at 8. A senator's wife has vanished, but her disappearance is only the beginning.
Register to win a whole house cleaning from Molly Maids at KASA.com.
Iran and the European Union began negotiations in Austria today. Iran's senior negotiator told reporters that, quote, constructive progress has been made. Iran is refusing to meet the UN's demands to end the country's nuclear program. The meeting is being called the last chance for Iran to avoid penalties for resisting the Security Council's resolution.
I want to tell you that the meeting, the hours of work have been productive, that we have clarified some of the misunderstanding that existed before, that we have made progress, that we want to continue that line.
The talks are expected to continue this week. Iran says it only wants to enrich uranium to generate power, but uranium can also be used to make nuclear weapons. The UN Security Council demands that Iran stop uranium enrichment, and they've already missed the August 31st deadline to do so. So far, so good for the Space Shuttle Atlantis. The crew in space spent several hours inspecting the shuttle for damage after flying debris was spotted hitting the shuttle during takeoff yesterday. Atlantis is scheduled to rendezvous with the International Space Station tomorrow. The crew will start construction on a large addition to the space station. After months of searching, police in Texas find the aunt of Dateline NBC anchor Stone Phillips. And as they suspected, she is dead. Police say a suspect led them to Doris Phillips's body. The 81-year-old was found in an abandoned house about 40 miles outside of Dallas. Police aren't naming the suspect, but say he was a friend of the Phillips family.
It's extremely sad, though, because our worst suspicions have been confirmed, and that's tough to take.
Doris Phillips had been missing since July. Authorities expect to file capital murder charges against the suspect that led them to the body. A Florida mother is accused of killing her baby just moments after giving birth. Police say a caller tipped them off to the woman's home late Friday night, saying she had recently given birth and was bleeding. When they arrived, police say the woman denied ever being pregnant or having a baby. They later found the newborn boy dead inside a dresser drawer. It was determined that the baby had been born alive. The exact cause of death has not been released. A Texas man is accused of shooting and killing his estranged wife outside of a church today. Witnesses say the couple was arguing over divorce proceedings at the church this morning. Police say the husband, Tommy Edwards Jr., pulled out a handgun and shot her several times in the face. The victim's friends say they were shocked.
She came to worship the Lord, and so she's in paradise right now. So that's what's comforting for us right now.
Alveda Edwards later died at the hospital. Police are still searching for her estranged husband. He fled the scene after the shooting. Two small planes collide mid-air, and it's all caught on tape. The planes were taking part in an air show in the small country of Malta. The pilot of the plane that crashed into the sea later died at the hospital. The other pilot was able to safely eject before the plane crashed. Authorities have not released any information into the official cause of the crash. A wildfire in Washington state has forced some people out of their homes, and another fire is threatening to do the same. The one that's causing evacuations, the Flick Fire, has burned 6,500 acres outside of Seattle. The second fire has burned about 1,000 acres, and if crews don't get it under control fast, the fire could destroy nearby summer cabins. Residents are being told to be ready to leave it at a moment's notice. A truck driver is lucky to be alive after lightning strikes his tractor trailer. Watch as the semi bursts into flames on Interstate 75 in South Florida. Authorities say lightning struck the cab of the big rig on Friday night. The driver immediately pulled over and was able to escape before the truck became engulfed in flames. He was not hurt. As the anniversary of 9/11 approaches, the question remains, are we prepared to handle another attack? Coming up, what hospitals across the nation are doing to prepare.
And we do have a powerful cold front moving across New Mexico for tonight. Find out how that's going to affect your forecast tomorrow. All of that here on Fox 2 News at 9.
Celebrating 25 years, KASA Fox 2.
My milkshake brings all the boys.
Do something, then tell me the way I did it was wrong.
Howdy! It's State Fair howdy time.
Hi, Mom and Dad from McDonald's.
A warning to BlackBerry addicts. Your thumbs may need therapy. Your PDA could be giving you a stress injury. The American Physical Therapy Association calls it BlackBerry thumb. It's a stress injury from the overuse of those popular handheld devices. It can cause pain and even numbness in the thumbs and joints of the hands. Doctors recommend spending less time typing and using other fingers instead of thumbs. If and when disaster strikes, most communities and hospitals throughout the U.S. are not prepared for a sudden influx of patients. Now, one medical system is preparing for the worst with a team of the best, former NYPD rescue workers who survived 9/11. Fox's Rena Ninan has the story.
On September 11, 2001, I was assigned to the New York City Police Department's Emergency Service Unit, which is a SWAT and rescue team for the city. I was involved in one of the rescues of Will Jimeno and one of the Port Authority police officers and John McLaughlin.
Now, 5 years later, Scott Strauss and these 9/11 heroes have a second career, working for New York's North Shore Long Island Jewish Health System in disaster response.
We've gone out and we've taken on guys that were NYPD emergency services and now have retired, and now we're tapping into that talented resource to help us in emergency preparedness.
This experienced team is helping the health system prepare for looming large-scale natural and man-made disasters like bioterrorism, powerful hurricanes, and pandemic bird flu. Today, a new plan is unfolding right on top of the hospital's parking lot.
This is something that can be set up very quickly. And even this series of tents here, which is 6 small tents, can hold 100 patients.
This portable hospital comes in boxes. It can be pulled from storage and fully operational in less than 24 hours of a disaster.
If there's ever any type of bioterrorism event, we could dispense medications, we could vaccinate large numbers of patients.
This mobile unit can also act as an emergency room triage center or isolation unit. It runs on generators and is fully equipped with its own supply of air conditioning and electricity. Meantime, these 9/11 survivors say they're proud to be working toward the future by using their experience from the past.
What we provide the health system with is knowledge and experience in dealing with emergencies, dealing with weapons of mass destruction, certainly on a different level, but the idea is the same.
In New York, Rena Ninan, Fox News.
There's more news straight ahead on Fox 2 News at 9, but first, let's check out what's happening tonight on Eyewitness News 4 at 10. We go now to Eric Connard in the Channel 4 studio.
Colleen, coming up tonight on Eyewitness News 4, a journalist held captive in Sudan is back home safely tonight. Hear why New Mexico journalist Paul Salopek thought he may never set foot on our state's soil again. Plus, tomorrow marks 5 years since 9/11, how friends of a New Mexico man killed in the terrorist attacks are remembering him. And our state is one of the worst in the country when it comes to suicide rates. How people gathered tonight to try and curb the problem. Those stories tonight on Eyewitness News 4 after the Lobo Coaches Show.
30 cartons of cigarettes and a couple of lighters. That's all that was taken when an Albuquerque man was killed nearly a year ago. Tonight, police get a big break in the case. And if the TSA's new safety rules have you confused about what you can and can't take on the plane, you're not alone. We sort it all out.
Our high today slightly warmer than yesterday, but still below average. Your Fox 7 Day coming up.
Celebrating 25 years, KASA Fox 2.
Your fantasy.
Welcome home. You're watching New Mexico's only primetime newscast. This is your news at 9.
A homeless man from Illinois is playing a big role in solving an Albuquerque murder. A new movie about President Bush makes its debut, but it's the fictional part of the story that's raising eyebrows. They're tough on crime and get the job done, but they're not cops. Meet the crime-fighting nuns. It's been nearly a year since an elderly Albuquerque man was killed, but today police say they finally have a suspect in custody, a homeless man who was picked up in Illinois. Jeremy Hohola reports on the latest developments.
This was the scene last October, a baffling case for police. Inside the convenience store, 71-year-old Vasil Papadiak was found dead. No cash was missing, only 30 cartons of cigarettes. Medical investigators say the elderly Romanian immigrant died of a heart attack, perhaps during a struggle. And nearly 1 year later, today, this homeless man is locked up in Albuquerque, standing before a judge for the murder. A police report says 32-year-old Uriah Baca was just picked up in Illinois, and that his DNA matches DNA found at the crime scene. Today, Baca was told he's charged with murder.
The penalties in the district court are death or life imprisonment for this offense.
Baca did not say anything during his court appearance today. His bond has been set at $1 million. Prosecutors also revealed in court today that Baca has a long criminal history, several felony convictions for things like robbery and escape. In the South Valley, Jeremy Hohola, Fox 2 News at 9.
Family and friends of a New Mexico Marine killed in Iraq gathered tonight to pay their respects. Lance Corporal Shane Harris died in combat last week. He was supposed to come home in just 3 weeks. He grew up just outside of Las Vegas. Harris's family will hold a funeral for him at their home in Las Vegas on Tuesday. An earthquake shakes up the Gulf Coast today. The magnitude 6 quake didn't cause any significant damage. It was centered in the Gulf of Mexico, about 260 miles southwest of Tampa, Florida. Scientists say the location of the earthquake was not unusual, but the size was.
It is an unusual earthquake in that we've had a handful of earthquakes in this area over the past several decades, and this is the largest that we've seen. And of course, it's distant from any plate boundary, so that makes it a little unusual too.
It was the largest earthquake to shake up the eastern Gulf of Mexico in 30 years. Residents of Bermuda are on edge, bracing for Hurricane Florence to make landfall. Forecasters say Florence is expected to make landfall on Monday. Right now, Florence is a Category 1 hurricane, but officials expect it to strengthen. The good news is that the storm is veering away from the U.S. coast. We don't have to worry about hurricanes here.
No, we don't. Just we had some severe weather earlier across northeastern New Mexico and still some thunderstorms out there. Let's take a look at our live radar, and I can show you what's going on across northeastern and eastern New Mexico. These storms are slowly moving off towards the southeast, putting off a lot of rainfall, and we had reports of a little bit of hail as well. All of this thanks to a cold front moving across New Mexico, bringing in some cooler temperatures to the northeast. But basically, everyone's highs today from the 70s, 80s, even 90 degrees in Hobbs and also Artesia. Currently at the Albuquerque Sunport, where our official weather station is here at Fox 2 News. We do have winds out of the northwest at 8 miles an hour, and our temperature at 73 degrees. Winds right now are light, but we do have a chance to see some moderate East Canyon winds later on this evening, with a wind gust at 30 miles an hour in Clovis. But temperatures right now only in the 50s, 60s, and 70s across southern New Mexico. We're seeing temperature change mainly across the northeast. That's where we do have that front moving through that brought in the showers and thunderstorms to northeastern and eastern New Mexico. Our forecast for tomorrow involves this front continuing to move southward. As it does, we're going to see more stormy weather, not only here in New Mexico, but it's going to stretch all the way into parts of the Midwest thanks to this front. Also, Category 1 hurricane, we're talking about Florence, continues to make its way towards the northwest. It is forecasted to become a Category 2 hurricane as it continues to move off towards Bermuda. We could see max wind speeds at 90 miles an hour. Could also create some swells across the east coast, but tomorrow's forecast across the east not looking too bad. They could see temperatures in the 70s and 80s across the east. We are expecting temperatures slightly cooler across the southeast as that low pressure center moves towards Miami. Their high tomorrow at 90 degrees. We're going to see 85 in Great Falls, only 75 in Denver. Thanks to that front, it's bringing some cooler air in for tomorrow. So here's our precipitation forecast tomorrow morning at 5. You can see a few light showers across the eastern plains, but tomorrow our storms will be more scattered, especially across southern New Mexico as that front continues to move southward, bringing in cooler temperatures, and it could get breezy at times. Taking a look at your forecast highs across the south, we're going for temperatures in the 50s and 60s, highs tomorrow from the 70s, 80s into those 90s in Alamogordo. In the northern half of the state, overnight temperatures in the 30s and 40s, partly cloudy for tomorrow with highs in the 60s into the 70s. For the East Mountains into the Espanola Valley, a 30% chance of rain with those winds from the northeast at 5 to 15 miles an hour. A few storms possible tonight in Santa Fe, an isolated storm at best. But tomorrow you have a 30% chance for rain with a high of 74 degrees. In the metro area tonight, we can't rule out an isolated storm possible with those East Canyon winds, and from the heights into the valley and the west side, overnight temperatures in the 50s. Highs tomorrow dropping down into the 70s and 80s. Well, here's our 7-day forecast, and tomorrow we do have a 77 for a high, 79 on Tuesday, but we do have a good chance of rain Monday into Tuesday. And you know, things are changing here on Fox 2 News. This is my last night I'm going to be here. Right. I want to thank all the camera people, the directors, and the producers. I've had a good time giving you the weekend forecast every weekend.
We're going to miss you, Shar.
Yeah, well, I'll be over at Channel 4 so you can still see me there.
Okay, thank you. It's not in theaters yet, but a new movie about President Bush is stirring up a lot of controversy. Why the White House is upset about the fictional part of this movie, and sorting out the TSA's new safety rules.
According to Jim, twice each weeknight this fall on KASA Fox 2. Welcome home.
If you had a choice between Church's Spicy Chicken for free or a Chrysler 300C, which would you choose?
Both.
To carry on or not, that is the question. There are some things you may not have thought about when it comes to traveling under the new TSA rules. Fox's Brenda Butner explains in today's Shoppers Market.
Anything that has liquid compound or gel compound.
By now, Americans taking to the skies know the new TSA rules. No liquids or gels of any kind are permitted in carry-on bags. So leave the personal grooming items like makeup and deodorant in your check bags, or your pricey items will get tossed and all that money you paid will be lost. Travel experts say you can make air travel smoother starting at home.
Some of the things you can do to save time at the airport is check your bags in online as well as pre-print your boarding pass.
Avoid overstuffing your luggage by packing right.
Put things like shoes on top of your bags, and that way if they have to do a hand screening check, the screener can go through it without having the shoes interfere.
Put banned items and underwear in plastic food storage bags so screeners' hands don't have to directly touch your clean unmentionables. Slip-on shoes also save time at security checkpoints.
The one thing you want to avoid with your shoes is those insert gels, because gel inserts are not allowed, so they'll take them away from you.
But you are allowed to wear gel-filled bras or prosthetics. Want to prevent dry eye in the sky? You can carry on up to 4 ounces of saline solution or eye drops. Once you're through the gate, you can buy liquids, but you have to consume them before boarding the plane.
If you buy something at a duty-free shop, like alcohol, you can actually still take that on board if it's brought to the plane by the duty-free shop.
When in doubt, put items in your check bags or call your airline or airport ahead of time to find out what you can bring with you before it's taken away. For the Shoppers Market in New York, Brenda Butner, Fox News.
Forget the guns. One California neighborhood is bringing in the nuns. How these sisters are helping in the fight against crime. And a lot of people are trying to get into Bridget Jones's underwear. What's so special about these bloomers?
I'm Secretary of State Rebecca V. Hilkudon, Chief Elections Officer for the state of New Mexico. In compliance with state law, my office sent out voter ID cards earlier this year to all New Mexico registered voters. The cards were sent with the information and to the addresses currently listed on file with your county clerk. If you did not receive your card, or if the information contained was incorrect, you must contact your county clerk to update your information. This will help you to participate in the upcoming November elections. Thank you.
I really like these Sonic smoothies. They got calcium, they got vitamins. I feel like every time I drink one in the morning, it's like a daily affirmation.
What would you pay to get your hands on the breeches of Bridget Jones? It seems the panties once worn by actress Renee Zellweger when she played the title role in Bridget Jones's Diary are now up for auction. The large white cotton underpants are being sold at a charity dinner to benefit London's royal parks. The panties are not unsoiled. It seems they've been autographed by Zellweger's British co-star, actor Hugh Grant. To heck with hunting for gold, pirates are turning out to be a real box office treasure all by themselves. The movie has brought in more than $1 billion. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, has officially become the third film ever to go beyond the $1 billion mark at the worldwide box office. The other two films to bring in more than $1 billion, Titanic and Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. The supernatural thriller The Covenant worked its magic on the weekend box office. The movie debuted in the top spot with $9 million, not exactly a bewitching amount. That's the smallest take for a #1 movie in 3 years. Flying into second spot, Hollywoodland with $6 million. Ben Affleck stars as TV's Superman George Reeves in a film that examines Reeves' death. Last week's #1 Invincible fell to third place with almost $6 million. A very grim story, the fictional murder of President Bush. It's on the screen, premiering at the Toronto Film Festival. Fox's Steve Brown has the story.
The Toronto International Film Festival has brought over 300 movies to this city. The films come from all over the globe, several of them in different languages, but none of them is creating the stir that death of a president is causing. The film from British writer-director Gabriel Range is a fictional work designed to look like a documentary from the future. It reportedly examines the assassination of President Bush in the future, in 2007, and the events that followed. Now, U.S. talk radio show hosts who have already gotten wind of this movie have called the movie offensive and worse, but one of the actors defends the movie as cutting edge.
I think it's kind of cool in a way because no one's ever done it and pushed the limits like that. So as an actor, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Including tonight's world premiere, the movie will be shown 3 times. All 3 have been sold out here in Toronto. Now, filmmaker Gabriel Range has been quoted saying he hopes his movie prompts more discussion of U.S. foreign policy. FoxNews.com entertainment writer Roger Friedman says the fictional killing of President Bush may be too over the top, even for the movie industry.
It would be one thing if this were after the Bush administration and you want to say what would have happened if, and then maybe we could have lived with it. But I think this is going to be a tougher one to get by.
Not so for UK television station Channel 4, which already has a deal to air the movie in its entirety in England in October. And the film company that made the movie, Burrow Films, has representation in the U.S., presumably to pursue a distribution deal that would bring the movie to U.S. movie theaters. In Toronto, Steve Brown, Fox News.
Protesters marched to the White House for justice, a rash of violence in New Orleans, and grown-ups take a ride with their inner child in Oregon. Fox's Traces Gallagher takes us across America.
Washington, hundreds marched to the White House calling on the president to help end the genocide in Africa's Darfur region. Dozens arrested for acts of civil disobedience. Protesters want President Bush to pressure the UN for immediate action. Government militias have reportedly slaughtered thousands in the war-torn part of Sudan. Louisiana, a rash of violence sweeping over New Orleans and the surrounding area. Reports of up to 8 shootings in 24 hours. Cops say at least one person is dead, another woman reportedly hit by a bullet in broad daylight. The city planning a summit next week to come up with a new crime-fighting plan. New York, Betsy Ross would need some backup to sew these stars and bars. A massive free-flying American flag said to be the largest in the world. Old Glory suspended over the George Washington Bridge for a 9/11 tribute. It's nearly 9 stories high and 60 feet wide. Oregon, a little scrap metal and some mini tires, the fountain of youth for some big kids. It's Portland's annual Adult Soapbox Derby. Each ride must have 3 wheels and a working set of brakes. Racers also get water balloons and squirt guns to really battle it out on the way down. And that's a Fox Watch across America.
Hundreds of surfers riding some serious waves today in honor of the late Steve Irwin. Nearly 300 board riders showed up for the tribute today, some dressed in the Crocodile Hunters' trademark khaki shirt and shorts. Fans also threw wildflowers into the Pacific Ocean, one day after the funeral for the beloved TV host and environmentalist. What do you do when you can't count on the cops to stop the violence in your neighborhood? You bring in the nuns. Fox's Claudia Cohen has more on these crime-fighting sisters and how they are cleaning up city streets.
With its blighted neighborhoods and rising unemployment, Richmond, California has become one of America's most violent cities. Residents are losing loved ones and losing faith in city leaders to do something about it. But now, with the arrival of these nuns from India, faith has become Richmond's latest crime-fighting tool. Call it divine intervention.
That we need to come here and bring God's love, and that we need to come and just smile on the streets, and that will bring the hope of God's love here.
These Sisters of Charity follow the path of their founder, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, who confronted war, poverty, and hate. More than a dozen nuns have come to Richmond to do the same thing by promoting the Word of God in a community that's grown deeply mistrustful of police.
When people represent the faith-based community, they're able to get a lot closer, and they're not as threatening. And so their message of peace, as message of prevention, it goes a lot further.
The nuns take an active role in the community, knocking on doors, talking to neighbors, including gang members. They listen and pray with victims, giving them extra support and compassion, and they are well received. Frightened residents, fed up with the violence, are hopeful the nuns will help answer their prayers.
If this is what it's going to take to stop the violence, to stop children killing children, teenagers killing teenagers, and adults killing adults, this is a thumbs up for me. And this is what it's going to take.
You know, we've just been struck with violence, and hopefully this will bring some healing, some peace.
That is Quincetta Reed's deepest wish as she copes with the recent gunshot murder of her son.
Maybe so. Maybe that'll help. Anything will help. Anything is better than nothing.
The nuns plan to stay indefinitely, preaching peace in a place that desperately needs it. In Richmond, California, Claudia Cowan, Fox News.
Every puppy is cute in their owner's eyes, but this time there's a title on the line. It's a search for America's cutest puppies. The contest kicked off in California this weekend. Dozens of puppies were judged on the criteria of cuteness, playfulness, and friendliness. After making their selections, the contest will move on to other major cities. The national competition wraps up in Los Angeles in November. We hear from Rocky Long after the Lobos' big win against the Aggies, and a big day for both the Broncos and the Cowboys. Sports is next with Lee Faria.
Welcome home to KASA Fox 2, celebrating 25 years.
This fruit smoothie is great. You know, there's real fruit in it and it's fat-free.
This fruit smoothie is fat-free, has real